Hey, I'm really excited to have you here. And just for our listeners, it's been a while since we've done some AI and Lend podcast. There's a couple things I want to talk about. One is your book. I think it's been really, your first book was great and given a lot of people an idea of how to approach and look at AI as far as organizationally and how to be prepared for it. This next book is more of just kind of some more practical blocking and tackling currently in the AI space and how to make use of it now.
I mean, it kind of is. So my latest book, the AI Activation Code, really focuses on two things. So one, it's a playbook for our business leaders on your AI journey. So it actually provides tactical things based on which stage, where are you on the AI path. The second thing, it also introduces this concept we call business consciousness. So everyone keeps talking about it's the future of work, where we're really marching to. And, we're more and more companies are making this transition as AI as a tool to like the high energy intern, like we talked about last time.
I love that one, by the way.
To more of the AI employee and AI as a partner, so that as you're actually doing work, as market conditions change, the AI is out there looking at things in real time and putting forward things like, hey, this market over here may be collapsing, or there may be a regional blah, blah, blah over this. And so help them drive it, say, okay, what do we do to be adaptable and preempt any kind of negative risk that might occur here?
I like that. It's interesting that you say that. I did my son has I think I've talked about in the past, has this TikTok and online streaming Pokemon show, and he's been great with it. And he'll have sometimes people on his show 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I was trying to help him understand when should he be on, when should he not, who's your best streamer, so forth. And we use AI for that, actually. We took AI and we took in all the logs and gave it a good prompt. But here's all the shows, here's the streamers, and it came back and gave us an idea of, hey, don't stream on these hours. Cut these days out completely, because unless you're making X dollars per hour, you're losing money. There's no market share gain. And try to increase this streamer and get them to work on these days, because this seems like your highest producing day. This is your best streamer. So here's the best fit for you. It's been what would have taken me, I don't know, a lifetime to figure out. It took 5-10 minutes of prompts and boom. Done. So that's interesting. We do see that a lot kind of coming along. So what do you see? I mean, AI has been changing so fast. And I mean, even in the last 6 months or 12 months, and I'll talk about what we've been doing, but what's the latest that you guys are seeing there? You're seeing in AI, or what should be people paying attention to these days?
Swarms. Yeah, swarms. I know that sounds bad, but we talked a little bit about, I believe, AI agents last time. And so what we're really seeing is the need for families of AI agents, or they're really called swarms, because what a lot of people have learned the hard way is an effective AI agent really is really, really good. It's like your top performing employee, but it can only do like one task or activity.
That's right.
You start asking to do multiple ones, it starts breaking down.
Right.
And so what people have learned is, okay, so then they have to create multiple agents for all these different tasks and activity. Yes. But then you also have to create agent managers to help then coordinate, call them, these things. And then there's still the human agent interaction. So not just like your customers, but your own employees as well. And so people are like, I'm hiring a bunch of people, except they're just AI agents.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's a good, and another term, I guess swarms are probably the group of them, but other terms people are using is agentic AI, right?
Yep.
That's the theory of agentic AI. And it's something we've been doing a lot in our platform. So our AI stuff is all agentic AI, which, by the way, if you're watching this, if you're going to be out at the MBA show, that was not ideal.
Sorry, our AI agent is trying to get a hold of us.
Anyway, yeah, sorry about that. If you're going to be at the MBA show in October, you're going to be there.
Yep.
We're actually going to be giving out some books signed by Neil, and we're going to be having a couple just at the booth labs, if you will, of showing some of this AI agent and some of this kind of work in process. And, one of the things I wanted to talk about in that agent is something I learned recently was working with AI. So something that we're doing internally. So we have several AI products, as you probably know. Athena, who listens to calls, talks to customers. We have AI smart tokens in our AI enablement platform now. And one of the big things we've seen with AI is what you just said is right. AI can be really good at one task. So the job right now is what we have to look at is foundationally, if you're trying to build AI, is we really have to think about everything and breaking it down into very simple tasks. And we even have what you call managers. We have AI managers. We also have checkers. So some things, what we'll do is we'll run the same process with 2 different agents. We have a third agent to look at the results to see if these 2 agents came up with the same answer. If they didn't come up with the same answer, we have them do it again until they do come up with the same answer. And if they don't, then it can also do there's some evaluation where it can go to a 4th bot to give us a new answer to tell us which one should it go with, and then give us back to the right answer. So it's about breaking down things. Because if you try to use AI and you ask, I give this great example. My daughter was looking at colleges. And so I'm in California, and in California, It's great. We're part of what's called the WEU, Western States. I don't know why it's called WEU, but it's something about Western universities, something. What it says is for students in California, like Oregon and Washington and a lot of the Western states, that other colleges, if they participate in WEU, they'll give your student a reduced tuition.
Oh, wow.
So like if you want to go to University of Utah, I think out-of-state tuition is like 30 grand, in-state tuition is like 10, and for part of WEU, you get it for like 14 grand. Long story, but what I've been trying to do is my daughter wants to be an architect. There's lots of colleges that are part of WEU. So I said, listen, let's see like what colleges are part of the WEU, because that's a great, I'd rather not pay $70,000 to send you to state school when I can pay 15 grand. And to do the research was hard. And I once said, want the chat GPT. And I said, hey, I'm trying to find all the schools that do WEU that have this and this, give me the list. And it gave me like, not really the list. That's kind of not great. So what I did instead is I said, hey, I want to do this research to find out what schools are part of WEU, which has an architecture program, what the GPA requirement is, and what the cost per school and admissions requirement is. Can you give me a step-by-step guide of how you would research that project? So he came back and gave me like 12 or 13 steps. And then I said, okay, great. Do step 1, double check your work, and then show me your answers before you go to step 2. So I was in theory that Agentic AI. I broke it down. So now instead of it saying just go do it, it said first I would do this. And then it did that and said, here's what I came up with. I said, great, go to the next step. And then it did the next step, then the next step. And then at the end, I have the full compiled list and it worked. So thinking about Agentic AI and working with AI, that's really how people have to look at it. It's not, you can't just say, I need help with this, and it just does it. You have to actually break down the work and the processes and the parts and the pieces. Like our AI call review has hundreds, we have a swarm of agents that do all kinds of things. You would just even identify, is this a call or a text or an email? Some very basic things that agents identify. So I think that's fundamentally something that people should use. And we'll be showing some of this stuff at the NBA show with our AI enablement platform. I just recently saw OpenAI is now releasing their Agentic AI program. I just saw a clip from them today. Not only will it program systems for you, but it'll debug your software, test your software, load balance your stuff and it'll write documentation, which I thought was amazing. There's tools like Replit, Lovable. What tools have you seen recently out there? Anna Banana, the Google's, that was gone crazy. And that's been a big one. Are there anything else that you've seen that you really caught your eye recently?
A lot of the low code, no code tools have been pretty good, but what a lot of people are trying to go into is almost like this agent in a box thing, right? Because you can only do like one task activity really well, but it's the way your business does it. You can't really buy from a box. And so what you're seeing are some people, I know you're working on this, but not really any secrets, Josh, but this ability to say, we can create the agent for you. You just have to be able to explain your process or your workflow, and we'll take care of the rest. And that's how you get your AI employee going there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you just hit on is we're fundamentally, I've been a tech nerd for as long as I can remember. I think because you walked in my office, you saw my ham radio you guys know what ham radios are. They're what a CV was, but you gotta get a license to operate a ham radio. So when I was a kid, I could operate a ham radio or CB, or I got my computer programming award from when I was 12. And I've definitely been in technology and things have definitely always amazed me, but I can tell you just in the last 3 months, what I've seen has happened within our own organization is absolutely blowing me away. What you just said, some of this low code development and these agents and the processes, what you can do with it. We had our first AI hackathon about 6 or 7 weeks ago. And in a 4-day period, my team produced what would have taken me 6 months of work, got done in 4 days. We completely rechanged how we're building all of our technology. And we've actually, even if you guys are familiar with Replit, that's out there. Replit's a really good low code development tool. Even if you don't, just go play with it. It's amazing. It's so fun. I mean, you can make all kinds of apps. I have an app that I made for my fantasy football league that pulls in multiple LLMs to bring in multiple, just like I said, Agentic. So I have it pull in stats, and then I have it pull in recent injury reports, recent teams are playing, one by one, and then there's a master law that tells me which players to play. It does all this stuff, and I don't code anymore. I mean, I may have coded 30-something years ago. I don't know how to code anymore. Like, I don't know, but I was able to build that. Actually, I built it on my cell phone. I kid you, I built it on my cell phone during our fantasy football league draft night, because one of my buddies was sitting there using Grok and OpenAI, was going back and forth trying to ask it things. And what it would do is it would go in there and it would give us the feedback saying this person's not good or good, but it may have been like an old news article from 2 years ago. So I realized, we have to break it down in processes, make sure it's the most recent articles only, make sure it's So I literally built it on Replit. I built it by just saying, I need an app that does this. And now I want to do this and I want to do that. And I want to do this. And then just I watched it and 3-4 minutes later, start playing with the app, connect it to OpenAI without programming, put a key in there. And I was like off to the races. It's amazing.
But the key point there is you don't have to be a coder. You don't have to be a technologist. We're empowering the domain experts.
That's it.
Low code, no code
That's right.
solution.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly it. And what we're seeing and what we're going to be showing at the conference is what we call our AI-enabled platform. So I just described you guys can go out there and use Replit or Lovable, or there's a handful of these out there, but I think Replit seems to be the market leader. And it can build low-code, no-code apps for you. Like pretty cool stuff. Now, if you want to start bringing that into the mortgage world, awesome. What you can do is you can get Replit, you can stand it up in its own environment. You can create a database structure that you want it to use to store your data, create security around it. You then can create what's called MCP servers, which allow it to interact with different APIs. So you can train, let's say, using Compass. You can spend the work on training your AI how to interact with all the Encompass AIs or APIs. And then you can train it to work with all your phone APIs and all these different stuff. And then once you train it to do all those, and then you can coordinate all the data, you can have Replit then go and build whatever you want. And you can do some amazing stuff within the mortgage industry. Or you could work with us. And this is kind of how we brought this enable platform together, because we've already done the work. We already have built all the API infrastructure for Encompass. So our AI knows how to work with the APIs. But for the pricing engine, for the phone system, for your data warehouse, all that structure is done. The data security, where it sits, where it's housed, your authentication, your security, making sure, because again, you're using AI, you want to start pulling data, you want to make sure that's something that can pass muster when it comes to compliance. It's all in place. So people can just go and run and use and build, and literally you can have absolutely no knowledge of knowing how to program. I think that's what people don't realize. It's like zero knowledge of programming, and you could go build an app, like really powerful, really cool apps, like overnight. I'll say overnight, I'll say within a few hours, actually. It's pretty amazing. And I think you're seeing that too. I mean, Salesforce, what did Salesforce say 3 months ago? They're hiring no more programmers ever. They will not hire another computer programmer. I think he said also 2/3 of his people will have jobs in a year from now. It's pretty wild. The thing.
I don't know about the 2/3 of the people who want to have jobs. There's just different work that can be done.
Different work that can be done.
But you're seeing what you're really empowering is the people that know the space. They know how the process works, the parameters have to go into it, now have the tools to actually do the stuff themselves rather than, okay, we'll create an IT project, we'll collect some requirements, design, the whole rigmarole.
I think what you just said is if you're a lender, if you're out there and you're in this, whatever industry you're in, if you have some analytical skills as far as you can process a map, like, hey, here's the things I need to think about, and you have some, some subject matter expertise, you can that's who's going to win this game right now, is that person who actually knows what the end user needs to use. Because when you use some of these tools, you can rapidly prototype the UI in minutes. So if you say, I want to need a new tool that allows me to see all my real estate agents that have done this, and I want to be able to update their information and send them whatever it may be, you build it. And within a few minutes, you actually see the UI that you would work with to say, oh, actually, I need a few more buttons. I need a few more choices. And you can say, actually, I forgot. I need to make sure I have this as an option. And then boom, oh, there's a new filter showing right up on your screen. Then you can actually interact with it in real time. I think that's what's wild and crazy. It's like just how quickly you can go from the thought to the visualization, like instantly.
But here's the icing on that cake, Josh. AI is the one tool you can ask it how to use better. So as you're developing this out, you're stuck or you're wondering what options you might have, you can actually ask your AI,
that's right,
what can I do to improve you? And it'll tell you some suggestions.
That's pretty wild. And that doesn't say it, because we're doing things like we'll take our requirements, run through ChatGPT to expand these requirements and tell me some of the things I forgot on these requirements. And it gives me bigger requirements. And then I give it to Replit. And Replit does the same thing, goes through it and says, oh, and I'll ask, what is there anything I'm missing? And it'll say, yeah, you need to build. And it does that. And it'll find things that I don't know I should be building in here. And it'll build things in by version control and stuff I hadn't thought about. It just goes ahead and builds it for you. It is wild. I mean, it's neat. If you're a lender out there, anyone in this space, one is get educated, right? I think Neil's new book, AI Activation Code. So one of the things that I can say is I've known Neil for, 6-7 years now. I think when I first started getting into AI, it was a little longer than that. We have been ahead of the market when it comes to AI. Neil's been our advisor since the beginning and is pointing us in the right direction. I would definitely read his book. We've read his book. We've We understand his philosophy, and we would obviously develop a lot of the philosophy from you. So it's great information. Neil has also just follow my mind as well. He does podcasts and he speaks a lot. There's lots of content out there for you as far as AI. And then come by and see us at the MBA show. We'd love to talk to you, get a signed book, and talk to Neil and ask us your questions.
Yeah, no, 100%. I appreciate that, Josh. And if you're wondering where you are in your AI journey and where you might benefit from the most help, there's a website, the AIactivationcode.com, where you can actually do a free assessment. It takes about 10 minutes. It'll help you understand where are you today. And from there, you can figure out then what's the best path forward using tools like from Accelerate to get to that future state you want to be at.
Yeah. And I think that's really good for all of you executives out there. Take that test, take a look at it. And you find yourself wanting to know more. And, we're trying to bring in AI and we need to be bringing in responsibly. And we need to be able to understand how Fortune 500 companies are using this and the top people in the industry are using this. Call us and speak to Neil. Neil has some of the patents from IBM's Watson platform and some of the first AI that was ever built. Has worked with people like Warren Buffett with AI, IBM, to name just a few of the people that Neil's advised when it comes to AI. And you do have an AI assessment process where you can help lenders with some on-site, just overall assessment, helping lenders understand their best practices. So that's really what it comes down to right now. Everyone will use AI. You can no longer say no AI allowed. That's like ridiculous, right? So you have to say, okay, AI is allowed. Now, how is it allowed? That's where we need expertise to come in and help you figure out how it's allowed. So if you need help with that, reach out to us, and Neil as well. He'd love to be able to help you with that. And hopefully we'll see you guys at the MBA show. If not, reach out to us and find out what we're doing in AI. We're always coming up with new stuff. And Neil, thanks for coming.